You're watching Plain Speak with me, Toya Singh. On this show, we aim to look at the day's top stories through the lens of just the facts. Our first story tonight focuses on comments the Prime Minister made earlier in the day today at Sikar in Rajasthan, a poor-bound state, remember. Now, in these comments, he reiterated a jibe he's made before against the Opposition Alliance's 2024 banding, the INDIA name. He reiterated his East India jibe about them. He also equated the opposition with SIMI, the Students' Islamic Movement of India, a banned terror outfit. He claimed that just by rebranding an alliance, you can't hide the past, you can't hide the record that alliance holds. Now, a few minutes after that, he also attacked the Rajasthan government that is, you might remember, led by the Congress's Ashok Gehlot. He targeted them over a recent controversy, that of the Red Diary, and we'll take a deeper dive just to remind you about what that's about. He also targeted them on their record of corruption and women's safety. Now, the Congress has called these attacks by the Prime Minister a diversionary tactic from all of the happenings in the Parliament, where, remember, the BJP is going to have to answer to a no-confidence motion in just a few days from now. The big question we're looking at tonight is, will these attacks by the BJP be enough to win first the Rajasthan Assembly polls and then the 2024 challenge? Or has the opposition finally hit their stride? Let's take a deeper look, first by taking a look at what it is that the Prime Minister had to say. We're going to play it out for you in the screen next to me in just a second. But first, let's just take a quick look at a summary. Number one, as we just told you, SIMI, East India Company, have India in their name. This is a version of something that the Prime Minister and other leaders have said before in the last few days after the INDIA name came out. The second thing he said, as I shared with you, that this rebranded INDIA is to hide the UPA's past. Number three, he said that we need a quit India. Again, he's played that double entendre of INDIA and India movement. He said we need a quit India movement against corruption. Number four, he said crime against women is on a rise in Rajasthan. He's also said the Red Diary, and this is the controversy we talked about. We'll just touch on it in a second from now to remind you about it. He said the Red Diary is a project of the Congress's Loot Jhoot Ki Dukaan. We'll talk about that in a second. He's also said the Red Diary will reveal the Congress's black deeds. Now, soon after this set of comments that, as we told you, were made early in the day today, you had the Rajasthan Chief Minister, Ashok Gehlot, as expected, respond to what it is the Prime Minister had to say. He said that the statements by the Prime Minister highlight the Prime Minister's desperateness. We'll take a deeper dive into this response and the response that has been coming in from other opposition members. He's also said that the Prime Minister is levelling baseless allegations in a panicked manner. He's even said that the Red Diary controversy is a fabricated story by the BJP. He said that the centre has authority over all agencies. So if they are so concerned about this Red Diary, why don't they investigate it? He's also suggested for the Prime Minister to talk about the red cylinders and the red tomatoes. That's, of course, a reference to the rise in the price of tomatoes that is affecting consumers across the country right now. Let's take a look. This is what we're taking a look at today. The comments made by the Prime Minister in regards to Rajasthan. Will quit INDIA actually resonate? That's the question. Take a look now at what the Prime Minister had to say.
आपको याद होगा कि कांग्रेस के शासनकाल में सिमी यानी स्टूडेंट इस्लामिक मूवमेंट ऑफ इंडिया बना था। नाम में इंडिया था, लेकिन मिशन इंडिया को आतंकी हमलों से बर्बाद करने का था। जब इसके कुकर्म सामने आए तो सीमी पे बैन किया गया और ये बैन हुआ तो फिर नया नाम लेकर आए। उन्होंने भी नाम बदला, पीएफआई। सीमी बन गया पीएफआई यानी पॉपुलर फ्रंट ऑफ इंडिया। नाम नया, नाम में फिर इंडिया, लेकिन काम वही पुराना। आज हम समृद्ध भारत बनाने का संकल्प लेकर चले, जैसे गांधी जी ने क्विट इंडिया का मंत्र दिया था, वैसे ही आज का मंत्र है भ्रष्टाचार क्विट इंडिया, भ्रष्टाचार छोड़ो इंडिया, परिवारवाद क्विट इंडिया, परिवारवाद छोड़ो इंडिया। क्विट इंडिया ही देश को बचाएगा और देश को विकसित भारत बनाएगा। आपने लाल डायरी के बारे में सुना है ना? कहते हैं इस लाल डायरी में कांग्रेस सरकार के काले कारनामे दर्ज है। लोग कह रहे हैं कि लाल डायरी के पन्ने खुले तो अच्छे अच्छे निपट जाएंगे। कांग्रेस के बड़े से बड़े नेताओं की इस लाल डायरी का नाम सुनते ही बोलती बंद हो रही है। कांग्रेस ने राजस्थान में सरकार चलाने के नाम पर सिर्फ लूट की दुकान चलाई है, झूठ का बाजार सजाया है। कांग्रेस का मतलब ही है लूट की दुकान, झूठ का बाजार।
All right, this evening to have this conversation with us, we have Shehzad Poonawala from the BJP is with us in the studio this evening. We also have Sujata Paul. She's with us. She's a Congress spokesperson. We have Pradeep Bhatti, a Samajwadi Party spokesperson, and R.K. Upadhyay, a senior journalist. Now, we're going to go to each of these panelists. Shehzad, I'm actually going to come over to you first. What I'm going to look to understand from you, Shehzad, in just a second from now, is that we're going to first focus on the INDIA attack and then the Rajasthan question. So, Shehzad, just to start off, by coming to you with the attacks that have come in from the opposition, yesterday, today, we've seen the opposition again and again say that by attacking the opposition alliance on just their name, it's a sign that the Prime Minister has lost out on actual material to attack the opposition on. What is the BJP's response to this?
Quite contrary to that, what we are saying is that just by taking a new label, you don't change the product. For instance, if some ragtag channel says that I am CNN News 18, will it be the quality of CNN News 18? No, it will not. Similarly, just by putting I.N.D.I.A, it does not mean that you are pro-India in your stand. And therefore, what is important is not name but character, because India is there in SIMI also. It is there when SIMI was banned, it was there in PFI also. Now, both those organizations, they have India in their name, but does that mean that they work for India? And I'll ask some specific questions. Yesterday, CNN News 18 reported a very important story. The Indian Union Muslim League Youth Wing sloganeered against Hindus, saying that we will hang them and kill them. Cases have been booked. This IUML is part of the so-called formation with the India acronym. What statement have you seen from Rahul Gandhi, who called IUML secular? Lalu and Mulayam Singh Yadav had said SIMI is actually an organization that works for the youth and should not be banned. The Samajwadi Party manifesto had said that they would release terrorists because they belong to Muslim community. In fact, they started releasing terrorists and the courts had to intervene and say don't do it. The Congress Party Minister Aslam Sheikh had batted for Yaqub Memon. Is this pro-India or anti-India? 26/11 was blamed on India, not on Pakistan, by Digvijay Singh. Surgical strike, Balakot airstrike was questioned by Congress Party. They called it Khoon Ki Dalali. They in fact went to the extent of even saying that in Galwan 2 our martyrs did not show any bravery. So I want to ask you that those who demand intervention in India from foreign land, is that pro-India or anti-India? That is the question. Forget everything else. Article 370, entire country of India is supporting its abrogation, including Aam Aadmi Party, by the way, who's part of them. What is the stand of Congress on Article 370's abrogation? They want 370 to be reimposed. Digvijay Singh said that to a Pakistani journalist. Samajwadi Party is on record against it. So please tell us, what is your character? Forget the name. What is in a name?
Okay. Shehzad, thank you for starting out. To both the Congress and the Samajwadi Party, we're going to go over to each of you. We have enough time today. Sujata, I want to come to you first so that you can respond to each of these points. I'll then go over to the Samajwadi Party spokesperson who's also with us today.
The BJP spokesman doesn't really have anything much to say, but I will go to what the Prime Minister has said. Because attacking India has become a habit of the BJP RSS combine. And it is so true that when the Prime Minister says what's in a name, he's only showing his own character, own charitra, the charitra of BJP RSS. How? When you talk about Bharatiya Janata Party, these people have no Bharatiyata. They are the RSS, Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, have no Rashtriyata. And then they talk about being Rashtravadi, they have no Rashtravad in them. They talk about being Hindu nationalists, they are neither Hindus, people who live this side of the Sindhu, and that's why they were called Hindus. And they are neither nationalists, like I have explained to you. But when the Prime Minister talks about quit India, of course, this is present in his psyche. Because when the 1942 Quit India movement took place, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee wrote to the then governor of Bengal asking him to crush the Congress's Quit India movement. And of course, these people are coming from the Pittus, and I am using the word Pittu so that more people can understand, the Pittus of the British, because they came, they did nothing, and all they did was enjoy during the British rule. And then they are the ones who had the accusation of assassinating Mahatma Gandhi, Veer Savarkar, Golwalkar. All of them were put into jail by Sardar Patel, no less. Of course, the allegations could not be proved because of lack of evidence and they were let off, but Nathuram Godse, they disowned. And therefore, this Quit India movement which they wanted to crush, today they want to quit India again. And this is the reason why the Prime Minister is saying it. Because Maharaja Modi is very wealthy. He has the ED, CBI, IT, but he is making the country bleed because M for Maharaja and M for Modi, but he will not say the M for Manipur, the real issues which are plaguing the country, the real issues which are troubling the country. And if you notice, it's all a negative narrative this time, and they are trying to build on that because they have no issues to speak about. So it is a hara hua, a person who is frustrated, desperate, who has gone to Rajasthan and come up with this narrative. But let it be so. The people of Rajasthan know who to vote for. They speak about the 5 lakh insurance that they give for medical, of course. But the Rajasthan government has given 25 lakhs in insurance. The Rajasthan government gave the cylinder for 500 rupees to women who were in dire straits after their Ujjwala Yojana failed because the cylinder went up to 1100, 1200 rupees. So the schemes which the government of Rajasthan has brought has put Mr. Modi on the back foot, and it is a negative narrative that he's built.
Okay, Ms. Paul, just stay with us. I now want to give the Samajwadi Party spokesperson Pradeep Bhatti, who's with us, a chance to speak. Shahzad will then come back to you to your response to each of these leaders. Mr. Upadhyay, you'll have to wait just a second. Pradeep Bhatti, do go ahead.
Thank you and good evening to all. Firstly, the Prime Ministership is an institution and its dignity and prestige should be maintained. Unfortunately, Honorable Prime Minister has not come out of his misinformation, misleading, full of lies, jumlas mindset. As you are discussing today's event, how can you miss the great lie of Honorable Prime Minister got exposed today, where he lies about opening IIT IIMs every year in America? And the reality is that yesterday in the answer to in the parliament, not a single IIT IIM opened in the last 5 years. Do you expect a party, a compulsive liar, and his head to speak truth about his opponents or opposition parties? So what will a leader speak when this ground getting hollow and failed flapping endeavors getting exposed? So I'll say that Khisyani Juban mein आप क्या expect कर सकते हैं? Even in the worst possible, whatever is Prime Minister is saying today about his opposition parties, which ideally in democracies it has to be respected. Even in the worst possible time, after the death of Honorable Mahatma Gandhiji's murder, affiliations, the murderers' affiliation and association organization and his political arm, it was very crystal clear. But the then Prime Minister at that time did not even name that opponent political party. And now you see the what the level Prime Minister Modi has bring the opposition parties, and how he's blaming them. So it's very well understood the PM's desperation, and the PM wants to keep people of this country entangled in the frivolous issues. When PM will be speak about the rocket issue, rocket high price rise, when will Prime Minister of this country will speak about the petrol, gas, diesel price, tomato price, cooking oil price, and other necessities? When he will be talking about the issues related to farmers, employment, unemployment, 10 crores they are supposed to give. What about the black money in 100 days, where it has gone? What about the poor and deprived people? 80 crore people are getting free ration.
Mr.
So I
Bhatti,
request the Prime Minister, just a last line, I request the Honorable Prime Minister, enough of diversion tactics. Please come to the basic. Whatever you have promised in the manifesto, 90% of the promises are falling apart. So please come to the basics. Don't divert the things, and let the country know what you have done in these 5 years. Don't just crib and curse or abuse the opposition party. That's not going to help the poor people of this country.
Mr. Bhatti, just stay with us. I now want to go back to Shehzad, because I do want to go back to R.K. Upadhyay, who's also with us ultimately. I do want to leave time for that. Shehzad, you've heard both from the Congress and from the Samajwadi Party. The Samajwadi Party bringing up themes that we know 2024 is going to be led by, the theme of price rise, the common citizen and how they're affected. Shehzad, do respond. These were a number of different points.
Yeah, there were a lot of different points, and because you asked me to start from the issues that Samajwadi Party flagged, I'll start from those, but let me complete all of them. Let's talk about the farmers. In 10 days, Rajasthan had promised, government had promised that they would take away all the loans of Rajasthan farmers. 19,400 farmers lost their lands. Rahul Gandhi's promise was betrayed. You know what a litre of petrol costs in Rajasthan, Toya? 108 rupees. Bagal mein Gujarat hai, it costs 96 rupees. Because one of the highest VAT rates in petrol and diesel is in Rajasthan. And so is the electricity rates. By the way, price rise, when it comes to that, 6 rupees has been increased on diesel in Himachal Pradesh ever since the Congress government came there. They said that they would give 300 units free. They increased 22 paise tariff on the electricity units there as well. Today is the lowest inflation rate. You must have seen the CPI figures. It's 4.25%. The UPA gave us 10% plus inflation, and you would remember that also. Now let's go on to something else which Madam, the Congress spokesperson has spoken about, Quit India and the role of the Quit India, BJP, the RSS, etc. and Quit India. If the RSS is such an anti-national organization, do you know who Pranab Mukherjee was? He was a staunch congressman and a former president. I did not interrupt anybody, and I don't think Toya conducts it that way. May I complete?
Go ahead, Mr.
Toya, was President Pranab Mukherjee Deshdrohi? He went to the headquarters of RSS, and the RSS has been praised by Mahatma Gandhi himself, by Ambedkar ji also. These are historical facts, but since they spoke about Quit India, can the honorable spokesperson of Congress Party tell me who founded the Congress Party and in 1885, who was the president in 1888, 1889, 1894? She might not want to tell me because it was George Yule, William Wedderburn and Alfred Webb, all serving officers and MPs in the British government or in the British Parliament. Imagine how they were fighting the British. I can only imagine that you are fighting the British and you are taking their MPs as party presidents. Great. Anyways, let's talk about Rajasthan again. Forget everybody else. This is the red diary that Rajendra Guda wanted to table in the House. You are the bastion of free speech, no madam? Why didn't you allow this red diary to be tabled in the House, in the Assembly in Rajasthan? And when he spoke about women's issues, you promptly removed him from the ministry. You know what is there in this red diary, madam? 15 papers have been leaked in Rajasthan. And do you know who's defending the paper leak mafia? Let me show you the last person who was caught in this paper leak mafia. He's a guy called Gopal Kesawat, who happens to be hobnobbing with Rahul Gandhi. Let me also show you another person, Mr. Dhaka, who's the mastermind of this scam. And he has not been caught by Rajasthan police, but you know who's going and defending him? Okay. Salman Khurshid. So, madam, why don't you answer? Why is the highest unemployment rate in Rajasthan above 20% for the last 1 year? And if you see Uttar Pradesh, it's less than 4%, Assam less than 4%, Gujarat less than 4%.
Shehzad,
let's talk about the farmers. Let's talk about the prices of Rajasthan.
Only because we do need to go over to our fourth panelist. Sujata, I'm so sorry. I do need to keep you waiting. Mr. Upadhyay, you've been waiting with us through the start of this entire discussion. And I want to come to you, sir, to ask you now about which issues, because we've discussed a number of them. Which issues do you think are resonating on the ground? Let's talk just about Rajasthan, where a few days ago we saw this red diary controversy play out. For our audiences, the red diary controversy was one in which you had an MLA in the Rajasthan government saying that he had a red diary that had a record of all of the misdeeds of the Gehlot government. Now, Gehlot, as we just said, came out today and said, investigate me if you need to. The Congress is saying it's all rubbish, frankly. But R.K. Upadhyay, is this an issue you think is resonating on the ground?
Well, I think that is what the Rajasthan government wants to come out with. But I think the Prime Minister has, set the agenda now. See, yesterday I was watching what was happening in Parliament and as well as the evening function. You see, after stalling the Parliament for one whole week on the Manipur issue, the opposition finally brought out the no confidence motion. Though there has been no, agreement among all of them, they have come out with that. And in the evening, the Prime Minister's, body language looked like, he was in a combative mood. I mean, he seemed to be very ebullient and came out with all gun blazing. And he did, I think, wanted to convey that whatever you might do or whatever you want to do, 2024, I am going to win this election. That was the message he, very bluntly told. And I think it was meant to the opposition leaders, who have been stalling the parliament for the one whole week. And you look at, the message that he is conveying. And he has just come back from the US visit where over 50 CEOs and the heads of various companies have made, firm commitment towards investment in India. What does it show? It shows that, they believe that the Prime Minister will come back to power in 2024. So this being the case, I don't know what the opposition is trying to do. I mean, they haven't, even given out what their agenda is. So they've only given a title called India, bombastically named as INDIA. Now, what does it stand for? What are their agenda for the next, election? On what issues they're going to come together? Who is going to be their prime ministerial candidate? How are they going to share the seats in different states? These are all questions, and more questions. And I think unless they resolve this and come out with, concrete plan and present it to the people, I don't think the people will, respond positively to this conglomerate.
Okay, Mr. Upadhyay, stay with us. And I want to go over to Sujata. Paul, Sujata, you've wanted to reply since Shehzad spoke, but I'd actually also like if you could address some of what it is that R.K. Upadhyay has said in his statement, where he said that what is exactly the agenda of the INDIA doesn't seem clear.
Yes. Before that, I would like to respond to what Shehzad was saying. But of course, there is one suggestion, and it's a very positive suggestion in spite of your negative campaign program. The very wealthy Maharaja Modi has the EDI, the CBI, the IT as his resources. Of course, I'm keeping aside the cronies for this for the moment, but he could use the authority of the Sengol and unleash the ED, CBI, IT on this gentleman called Mr. Rajendra Singh Buda and get that red diary. It will expose everything because it's an important evidence. The fact is, Toya, they are not going to do it because this is something that they have created because Mr. Rajendra Singh Buda had come from the BSP to the Congress when he won elections in 2008 also and in 2018. So the fact of the matter is that this red diary, if it really has something, and he's talking about huge payoffs, and he had also mentioned at one point of time that Amit Shah was trying to bring the Rajasthan government down. It's all over the internet. So this red diary really does need to be, obtained from him. Why is the ED not going after him, the CBI, the IT? Also, the moment that happens, it will expose the black deeds of the NDA. And NDA, why do I say NDA? Because it is a no development India that these people want to give, a no development alliance, non-democratic alliance. But coming to what Mr. Upadhyay was saying, very interesting. Yes, you're talking about the agenda and the Prime Minister's visit to the United States, where he addressed the joint session of the US Congress. But he can't address his own parliament here. He got the EU parliamentarians to go visit Kashmir when 370 was imposed over there. But he did not allow his own parliamentarians to go there. Until today, Kashmir does not have its own government. You have nothing to say about that. But of course, you will blame the the opposition for stalling parliament. The fact is that the people of Manipur are waiting for answers from their prime minister. And we waited. We tried to get him on board, but he refuses to answer the M of Manipur or to the people of Manipur, in spite of the fact that he is the M of Maharaja and M of Modi.
Okay,
he
Ms. Paul, I want to ask you a quick counter question. Ms. Paul, I want to ask you a quick counter question here because I do think that it is necessary to address this. Why hasn't the Congress yet taken action to remove Kuda, who's right at the center of this, the Rajasthan MLA who brought these charges? Why haven't they just removed him from the Congress yet?
You know, again, we are giving a chance to the central agencies to go after him, like I said. They should do that because in our party, we always do things as per procedure. We don't just jump and because there's a procedure. And what is happening within the party, that is something that stays within the party. But at the end of it, you will come to know what we are doing with Mr. Rajendra Singh Kuda. But tell me, is that evidence not necessary? Because Mr. Prime Minister can easily use it during his election rallies. But he refuses to do it. But he stands against India, and that is why this red diary really doesn't matter, because it's all, a figment which has been created by the BJP.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Thank you for bringing us your perspective. I now want to go back to Shehzad Poonawala for closing comments on this entire conversation. Shehzad, we've seen the line that the Prime Minister took in his comments.
Ma'am.
All right, I'm not sure quite who addressed me right now. Shehzad, I'm going to come back to you to ask you here for closing comments on this entire story. We know that the Prime Minister has led by saying INDIA. We've heard his comparisons of the INDIA to various terror outfits. Is this the line we're going to continue to hear him take right up till 2024? Is the name of the alliance the primary area he's going to tackle them in?
No, again, Toya, I opened by saying that the Prime Minister didn't say RSS is like Muslim Brotherhood like Rahul Gandhi had said, or Hindutva is like ISIS and Boko Haram like Salman Khurshid had written in his book. Prime Minister stated a fact and he said Charitra is more important than the name. I asked 3 or 4 questions about the Charitra on various issues of terror and 370. None of those were answered, and I think the audiences can understand. She keeps saying Maharaja Modi. By the way, the only time India was compared to a person was India is Indira by Devkant Barua, who was the Congress party president, and it was never taken back officially by the Congress. And I'm sorry that, people of Tamil Nadu had to see the insult heaped on the Sengol. I understand people hate Indian culture and Tamil culture, but I'm particularly sorry for Mr. Upadhyay, who also had to face that the Sengol was dragged in. Now she spoke about the ED going after Mr. Rajendra Kuda. I am glad at least Sujata today is saying that the ED is credible. So from tomorrow onwards, when the action will be taken by these agencies, they should not say that these agencies have no credibility, because the official Congress spokesperson has said that the ED does a great job. Central agencies should go after those who have spoken about corruption. By the way, Rajendra Kuda's entire statement, which CNN News 18 carried, said that the diary was torn, so the pages are with Gehlot's henchmen. So we should actually take cognizance of where the pages are. And thank you for accepting that the ED and CBI do a fantastic job.
Okay,
thank you,
and Mr. Poonawala, let me come to you with one last counter question. We've heard the Prime Minister and a number of other BJP leaders, when we talk about the situation in Manipur, talk about the situation in Rajasthan. They've talked about women's safety. And they've talked about the issue. They've talked about the issue of Rajasthan. They've talked about the issue of Chhattisgarh. I want to understand from you, Shehzad, when you take a deeper look at the numbers, yes, Rajasthan is number 1, specifically when you take a look at rapes, but number 2, number 3 and number 4 are all BJP ruled states. You've got Uttar Pradesh, you've got Madhya Pradesh. These are states that are BJP ruled states. What is the BJP's answer to that, Shehzad?
Absolutely. And therefore in Parliament, which is the temple of democracy of India, and they keep their name as I.N.D.I.A, and they say it's Union of States, then why should we divide women across state lines? Let there be discussion on Uttar Pradesh, let there be discussion on Madhya Pradesh, let there be discussion on Rajasthan, let there be discussion on Manipur. Who is dividing women of India and their issues across state lines? And secondly, do they ever want to have a charcha on this? In Rajasthan, the Rajasthan Assembly, the Minister of Rajasthan government wanted to speak on the issues of Rajasthan women. He was sacked immediately. Now, has there been any situation in any other state where a minister is getting up in the assembly and saying that, my God, what is happening in my state? You tell me any other precedent in the states that has taken place. So therefore, we should discuss all the issues in Parliament, but they have run away and they have now gone for no confidence motion, which means it was never about Manipur, M for Manipur, it was M for Modi, M for
Maharaja.
hatred for Modi.
M for Mehngai and M for Mazdoor.
Sir, I just spoke to
All
you
right.
about that, sir.
I'd like to thank the Congress, the Samajwadi Party, the BJP and of course Mr. Upadhyay for joining us. It is time for a short break. On the other side in just a few minutes, more of the country's top stories. This is of course Plain Speak. We'll take a look at our next story in just a second from now. But right before we let you go, coming after this short break, a political storm erupted after a girl was filmed at a medical college. This is down south in the coastal town of Udupi. But has the politics undermined the truth? That's the question we're taking a look at in just a few minutes, right here on Plain Speak.
Powered by
is a very big point.
And when you asked him about whether he had spoken to his Mizoram counterpart, the Chief Minister Zoramthanga, he said he hadn't been able to get in touch with him. This all comes in the backdrop of the comments that were made 2 days ago by the Chief Minister of Mizoram, where he said that a temporary painkiller is not enough. We need a permanent solution and the centre needs to look into this.
Yeah, absolutely. And there where he is trying to say, the Biren Singh is trying to say that who is he to make such comments? If something happens in Mizoram, then the Manipur Chief Minister will not speak on that. So why is he speaking on that? That is the thing. On the other hand, still the big question is so many arms, so many ammunition, so many checkposts, so many bunkers by civilians. That tough question was also asked by CNN News 18 to Biren Singh, where he said that the central and the state government, they're trying to dismantle all these bunkers and checkposts. But the fact remains that on ground in Manipur, there are various checkposts that have been made by civilians. So one big thing, definitely, Manipur CM lashing out on the Mizoram CM because of this rally and the fact that the Chief Minister himself was there in the rally. Second important thing is obviously this bunkers and this arms. What is the CM doing in it? That was the big question which we asked to him, and his answer was this. And along with that, another big thing which came up is definitely he's trying to make some legislative committee, has made some legislative committee. They will try to reach out, but things are not okay in ground, though there is no untoward incident. But there was this firing yesterday in More that he mentioned. But obviously this exclusive interview which we did with the Biren Singh, the big statement coming out from the Manipur CM is that he directly lashes out, he directly hits out to Zoramthanga, the Mizoram CM.
And it's a super exclusive. It's an interview with the Chief Minister of Manipur and Biren Singh. CNN News 18's Komalika Sengupta has spoken with the Chief Minister of Manipur even as the state remains on edge. The Chief Minister there going on to say that the Mizoram CM should not have interfered in the issue of Manipur and that he has spoken to his counterpart from Mizoram to ensure that there is no panic, there is no fear, and most of all, there is no fear-mongering.
There has been protest in Aizawl. There has been incidents in More. Manipur still is not normal. We have with us Chief Minister of Manipur, Biren Singh ji. Sir, when will Shanti, when will peace come in Manipur, and why peace is an unknown thing now in Manipur?
No, you see, Kamalka, peace is almost returning. You know, last 10-20 days, no unwanted incident was taken place except yesterday's incident in More and Phagakau area. So, you know, some groups are always trying to keep Manipur unboiled. But we, the people, we, the government, are trying to restore normalcy. But almost 80-90% has returned normalcy, I believe. And I'm trying my best with the blessing of the Honorable PM, Modi ji, and Honorable Union Home Minister Amit Shah ji, and other central leaders. I'm trying my best for reconciliation talk with the communities which are engaging. And yesterday also, I have a long meeting with my legislature colleagues, and we unofficially form a committee to sort out and to meet the both sides so that normalcy can be restored as early as possible.
Sir, Aizawl may there have been protests, supporting the Kuki community. What do you have to say on that? That there was a big rally out there. Is Manipur's problem now spreading into Mizoram also? And some Metis have come here.
You say it is very unfortunate. The rally organized by the peoples, that is okay. That is okay in a sense, democracy. But involvement of a chief minister on that particular rally, I think it is not nice. I respect him as a senior, but he has gone beyond ethics as a CM, and as a CM he should not interfere in other state affairs. Me too. When something has happened in Assam, without the consent of the Assam CM, I cannot intervene or interfere. When something has happened in Mizoram, without the consent of the Chief Minister, I cannot say anything, because that is the protocol, and just we are within India, we have to respect each other. But that.
Welcome back. You're watching Plain Speak right here on CNN News 18. We walked you first through a national story. Now we're taking you to one that is a little bit more focused. We're taking you down south to the coastal town of Udupi, where over the last few days a controversy has been brewing over an incident that took place at a medical college. The hoopla that's unraveled since the incident has the BJP on one side saying that it's indicative of a larger plan against young Hindu women, while the Congress says that it's all much smoke without fire in a very, very sensitive region. Tonight, we're going to take a deeper look. We have reporters joining us from the ground first to tell us exactly what happened so that you, our audiences, can answer the question. Is this much ado about nothing? Let's first understand what the case is, what happened in the first place. This story starts on July 18th, where a girl in a Udupi medical college says that she was filmed in a washroom as she was coming out. She was, according to our reporters, fully clothed when she stepped out. Now, the college says that the girl was mistakenly filmed by 3 other girls who were standing in the bathroom, who belonged to the minority community. Now, those girls, for their part, say it was a mistake. They say they were just trying to film another friend. Now, the college says the video itself was deleted. The girls already apologized. The mobile phones of the girls who were standing in the area who took that video, those were also seized by the college. And the 3 accused girls were suspended by the authorities. Now, the colleges said that the victim and the victim's parents took a listen at this entire case. They heard the whole case and then they refused to file a police complaint. They decided that they didn't want to. Yet, the cops went ahead. They filed a suo motu case. 3 students were booked. Now, a political war has erupted around this entire story with different leaders saying different things. The BJP is saying it's a larger plot in which Hindu girls are being targeted across the entire region. They've also said that the Congress is doing appeasement politics by not making this a bigger issue. They've also said that the police isn't raising any claims because the police is working under political pressure. For its part, the Congress has said that the BJP is once again using divisive politics in a part of Karnataka that is highly, highly sensitive. Let's take a look. This is our second story.
NCW has come here on the basis of a complaint which was sent to us. Investigation from the police department and the investigation from our side will continue and will come to a conclusion very soon.
Friends doing these kind of things, I think we will leave it to the principal. They will handle it. Why BJP wants to make it a political issue out of it? I don't think this is a good trend.
State government is taking very rightly, saying that it's a fake news. If it is fake news, why 3 girls were suspended? That apology letter itself is good enough to put a case. should be taken as a material for putting a fire. Police has failed in this.
All right, to take us much deeper into this story, my colleague Harish Upadhyay is with us this evening to bring us the details. Harish, good evening. Thank you for joining us on the show. Harish, this region, Udupi, is a region that Siddaramaiah, the current Chief Minister, once described as a Hindutva laboratory. And make of that what you will, we do know, as you've told us multiple times, that it is a very, very sensitive region. Now, Harish, if you could tell us, because we've shared the details of the actual incident with our audiences, but if you could now tell us, A, what has the police confirmed actually happened? And then B, if you could tell us, we know that the National Commission of Women's member, Khushbu, was down there right now. She's given a statement. She's also made a statement on Twitter. What has she confirmed happened and didn't happen?
Well, first things first, there is no hidden camera. That's something both Khushbu Sundar and the state police have said, that there's no hidden camera there. Second, there are several videos doing the rounds on social media. Both Khushbu Sundar and state police have said all of them are fake. Now, the state police says that there was no video shared at all from that device. Yes, there was a video made near the washroom area, but that was immediately deleted by these girls as soon as the victims started to raise an alarm and called in the teachers and others from the college management. So they are saying there's absolutely no scope for that video having been shared. And they're also saying that we've analyzed the device. The device did not, that mobile did not have other videos of any other earlier incident or any trace to suggest that videos of similar nature were shared with anybody. There was a talk of a Muslim boy being there and videos being shared to him. The police have ruled that out as well. Now, Khushbu Sundar has said two things. One, no hidden camera, no videos. The videos doing on the social media is false, it's fake. The police now will have to look at accounts that have really claimed these two things and ask them for details or perhaps act against them, because that is creating a lot of unrest. Already one FIR has been registered against the account which was spreading such fake videos. Now, what is the challenge or what is left for investigation? One, this device has to be analyzed by FSL lab to ascertain two things. Were there videos that were recorded earlier? Was it shared? These two are big questions that the FSL will have to give concrete evidence on. Yes, the video might have been deleted, but we have enough advanced software that the FSL has that can digitally map this device and its memory and find out which videos were there and was it shared at all, because that will be crucial. That's one of the main allegations by several people on social media. Okay. The Karnataka police telling us that one of the reasons that they have booked this suo moto case is that they could get hold of this device and officially start an investigation so that all these rumors can be put to rest. Khushbu Sundar saying that they still want to look at more details, talk to more people and then come at some sort of a conclusion. Even yesterday she suggested that there might not be enough evidence. Today, after visiting the college, she has said that there is absolutely no question of any hidden camera or any videos doing the round. So we have some bit of clarity on those two aspects. Okay. Perhaps FSL analysis of this device will give more information.
Okay, Harish, two follow-up questions to you very quickly, because then we do need to go over to our guests. The first, there have been some accusations that the college administration went gentle on the three women who are responsible. Some reports saying that the administration just asked them to apologize in writing 5 times. Can you confirm what aspect of that is true? A, and the other question I want to quickly fit in here, there have been some right-wing organizations that have claimed that there is a larger conspiracy at play. Any proof at all of that?
Well, right now, no proof to suggest that there's a larger conspiracy or there was a nexus that was shooting such videos and sharing it. Nothing, because the police are saying we've also monitored social media handles of various people and groups. No video of this nature has come out. I leave alone just this incident, but anywhere else from Udupi of this nature has come out on social media over the last few weeks. That's what the police are saying. The college management says that we've acted, we've suspended those students. The talk of just saying we've given some imposition is wrong, because despite the victim not wanting any sort of action, because mobile was brought into this campus despite a ban and it was used, we have suspended these 3 girls, and the parents of the victim was also there. Not that the girl the victim girl was not pressurized in any manner.
Okay, all right. Sir, Harish, thank you so much for joining us. I want to go over now to our panelists to take a much deeper dive into this story. We have Bhavya Narasimhamurthy from the Congress. We have Dr. Lakshmi Ashwin from the BJP. We have R.K. Upadhyay, a senior journalist. He was also with us in our last discussion. And we have an activist who has been very active on this particular story. Rashmi Samant is also with us. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us this evening. I'd like to first go over to Dr. Lakshmi Ashwin, who's with us from the BJP. Dr. Lakshmi, thank you for joining us. Dr. Lakshmi, I want to understand from you, as our reporter who just joined us laid out for our audiences, this is a story where the young girl was joined by her parents, and both the parents and the young girl took a joint decision to not pursue any action. Is it a case of us disrespecting their wishes when we make this into a bigger deal?
I would like to describe the present ruling dispensation, that is the Congress government, has the callous, the most obdurate and the most incalcitrant behavior. The obdurate behavior shown by the Congress government is so obvious now. It is the people of Karnataka to see. See this. I would like to ask them one question. If it has happened to a girl from a minority community, would they have behaved? Would they have behaved the same, or would they have shown the same kind of obduracy for not acting deeply into it, for not thoroughly investigating about the issue, and just clearly shrug it away, shrug it off their shoulders, saying that it's simply just as happened inside the campus, and we BJP people, we are here to politicize the issue. We are not here to politicize the issue. We are actually here. We are the equal stakeholders, since because it's a social issue, social concern. Women's safety, internal security, and women modesty are the social issues, and we are so much concerned about that. When we were in the dispensation, we have taken utmost care about the women's safety and their modesty. Now, it is very clearly shown that the police, especially the Congress government, the Home Minister, the kind of statements he is making is totally so silly and ridiculous. The obdurate people, the perpetrators who have committed this mistake, they should be given the stringent punishment possible, because this shouldn't have happened. See, once again, as a part of their appeasement politics, they're paying very silent lip service now. They're not doing anything. They're simply sitting and watching, saying that it's just a college issue. Okay, college is a what if it is a college issue?
I want to understand one thing here, though. I want to understand one thing. I want to understand one thing from you here, ma'am. We know that two things were wrong. A, that the students even brought phones onto the college campus. That was not allowed. A. B, the fact that they were recording inside a washroom is a violation of anyone's privacy.
That is condemnable, yes.
Correct. But I do want to understand from you, ma'am, the same question I started with. If the girl and her parents have already decided, and I'm sure there was a long discussion before that there is nothing worth pursuing here with the police, who are we to tell them different? That's what I'm asking. Doctor, do you want to answer? Miss Ashwin? All right, I think we may have lost our connection with the, I think we may have lost our connection with the doctor. I'll check in right now to understand who else we have a connection with. Let's go over to our other guests to understand their perspectives on this. Mr. Upadhyay, I believe I still have you with us. Can you hear? Yes, all right. Mr. Upadhyay, you are a senior journalist. You are someone who is familiar with the politics of Karnataka, and I want you to come in here and give our audiences the context over here to what's going on. Of course, there is a newly incumbent Congress government. The Udupi region is a region, as we're telling our audiences, that is a region that has a history of communal politics, communal divisiveness at play, deaths that have taken place in the last few years, murders of members of different communities. Can you bring our audiences more context of some of the background here?
So yeah, I think, this needs to be looked at very, very deeply. Because till yesterday, we were given to understand that there were some hidden cameras which were put in the washroom, and these three girls were behind it, and they had circulated it among their friends, especially boys, and they were being used for various activities. So this is what we are being told. Now Harish is today telling us what the police are telling him. There were no hidden cameras. They were not circulating anything, and it's just that they took some cameras to the washroom when one girl was there. They tried to take pictures, and then they said sorry, so come out. But if that is the case, where was the need for an FIR against these three girls? where was the need for the college to suspend them? So I think there is more behind the scene than what is coming out now, because see this government motives are still suspect. Because now look at what it has been trying to do about the communal riots that took place in 2020, August 2020, DJ Hali and KJ, these places. There were, the MLA's house was burned down, the police station was burned down, and now the Parameshwara, the Home Minister, is saying that we'll review these cases. We want to withdraw those cases.
Okay.
So, these are the cases which have been investigated by the NIA and which has even, filed the charge sheets.
Okay.
And these are very serious cases. And this is the attitude of the Home Minister. And regarding this Udupi case, he said, oh, it's just a prank which the students are bound to do.
Okay,
Is that the attitude
Mr.
that he has to
Upadhyay,
take?
just stay with us because I want to go over now
There
to
was
the
nothing in
Congress.
that. Why was there an FIR? If there was nothing in that, why did the police, why did the college management suspend them? Why did the police go after the Rashmi Sawant's parents? Rashmi Sawant was a former student
with us, yes.
activist of the Oxford University. She had put out a tweet, and based on that, they went to their parents' house and then harassed them. So where was the need for this?
Okay.
So I think there is much more than what meets the eye in the whole case.
Okay, sir, just stay with us for a second. I want to go over to Rashmi. She's with us right now. Rashmi Samant, you are, as R.K. Upadhyay just gave an introduction, you are an activist. You are someone who has talked very vocally about this entire story over the last few days. I want to come over to you with the first question here. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience? You've said the police came over, they harassed your parents. Talk to us about that. I'll then take further questions to you.
Well, all I did was put up a tweet based on information available in the local newspaper. So the local newspapers in Karnataka did report this crime on the 20th of July in a small column. I just thought that an apology in a case so severe was shady, and that's why I just questioned it, saying that there needs to be further investigation. The tweet went pretty viral, and the police landed at my house with no probable cause after sundown, which is very untoward because you're not supposed to land up at a lady's house after sundown without any probable cause. They land up and they have no questions per se. They're not saying anything about whether there's something wrong that I've written or if there's something that needs to be changed. They indulged in the regular intimidatory tactics. And it is also very concerning that an FIR was raised 8 days after the reported crime, and girls are now coming out from the college. You can find them giving statements to various Kannada news channels. They're saying the girls who go to that college are saying that this incident had happened 6 months ago as well, and that it was brushed under the carpet by college authorities. So this is a much severe crime. And it is very concerning that many people in very responsible positions are playing around words. It was simply said that the three girls tried to record another girl with cameras. So it was a camera in their phone, basically. Nobody used the word hidden camera. Now they're making this entire issue about hidden camera, which is a very specific thing that might have been fitted in. So the whole issue is not about it. You cannot find the word hidden camera in any of the tweets that have been made or any of the statements that's been made. The whole issue is about recording another female in the toilet without their permission.
Right, but Ms. Samant, isn't there, one second, I do want to ask you here, ma'am, there is obviously an element of social responsibility here, right? As you've told us, as our reporter told us who joined us a little while earlier, this is a highly communally sensitive region. It is a region where any story in which there is a religious minority involved is a story, as in a story where there is a religious majority involved, a story that we need to treat with a lot of sensitivity. Now, we've heard right now from the NCW's Khushbu, who said that wait for the investigation to finish, then we'll make any such conclusions.
Yeah, if I may come in, can I
of
quickly
course,
come in?
Please come in.
They did not start an investigation until we raised this issue continuously for 8 days. That is what we are having a problem with.
Correct.
That they did not start the investigation, and it took all of us to raise so much hullabaloo for them to start the investigation. The behavior from the police is extremely suspicious, and the community now wants judicial overview of the investigation, because the way the police has handled this is not the right way that any crime must be treated.
Okay, but Rashmi,
And
let me
because
just
it's a
take you one
sensitive
second. I
area,
just want to come
that
to you with
doesn't
the
mean
question that I was asking Dr.
that it brushes
Lakshmi
aside.
before the phone got cut off. I want to ask you, how can we continue asking this question when we know that the victim, I'm going to call her the victim here, and her parents both had already said they didn't want any further police action? Why are we then questioning the school's decision not to take any further action, the police's decision not to, when we know that it's what the parents wanted?
Well, Toya, I think in crimes like this, it's important to take suo motu cognizance, because
It's not about,
it is a college. It is a college where there are more girls, and this crime can happen with other girls if such crimes are swept under the carpet. And it sends a wrong message to the entire society that, if a victim does not want to pursue it, then it will be let off. It will give more incentive for perpetrators in the future to intimidate the victims to not speak out. So we need to set an example as a society that even if the victim feels unsafe about pursuing this matter and does not want to go to court every other day, then as a society we have it in us to take the onus upon us to give them justice, so that more victims in the future will feel emboldened. Don't you think as a society we have failed, that a girl who has been wronged so badly does not feel like it is up to her to take action? Don't you think
Also,
we
the
have failed
question is,
as a
there's only
society?
one case.
All right,
And don't you think
just
this
stay
is
with
an
us one
opportunity
second.
for us to give
Let
an
me take these
example?
questions to the Congress that's with us right now. Bhavya Narasimha Murthy is with us. Bhavya, there is one question that both Dr. Lakshmi and the other guest, the other panelist that we have with us, the activist who's joining us today, Rashmi, they're both asking one question that I think it is very important to answer. Why did the police take suo motu cognizance? Why did the police register this case at all? Now we know they are officially investigating this, if there was actually nothing to investigate in the first place.
First of all, this issue is a women's safety issue. I would like to ask BJP spokesperson the point she raised: if this were a minority community female or a woman, would this have been the case? Whether a woman belongs to minority community or a majority community, she needs to feel safe. So let's please consider this women's safety issue instead of giving this a communal color. We know BJP is very desperate because every issue they get, they want to give it a communal color. Let's see this only based on facts. 3 students, they recorded girl, another female student, in a washroom. Right after telling her, yes, what they made was a big mistake, a big one. They need to be taught a lesson for this. Because if this video had gone out, then that would have made a big,
Hello, Bhaiya,
big girl there. But what happened after that is they have reported to the school administration, and the video, it was not even circulated. Instead, the BJP IT cell has been circulating a fake video. It was the video of that girl. The girl, the victim, I like to call her survivor here, she doesn't want to take any action against her own schoolmates. These girls need to be taught a lesson that this should not have been done. But if the girl doesn't want to take a case against this, and the school administration very clearly, they have called the police, they have handed over the mobile phones of these girls to the police for forensic laboratory, and they see that this video was not even shared. But to link these young girls to a jihadi element or whatever they call this, or a terrorist element, or some community that these videos were, to cook up stories like this, why would you do something like this? I would like to ask Ms. Rashmi, before writing any tweet, as an activist, don't you think you have a responsibility when you tweet something? If this creates a communal tension, my other question is, when you are saying the same case happened 6 months ago, where were these ABVP activists back then? What was your BJP government back then? What did your government do about it? Why give a communal color for everything that you see? We stood by the women, even in the case of those wrestlers there. or we stand by the women in the Manipur case.
Okay.
The same way we stand by the women here, whether she belongs to minority community
All
or
right.
a majority.
Ms. Narasimha Murthy, I want to summarize what you've said and take a final question over to Dr. Lakshmi Ashwin, who's with us. She is the BJP spokesperson. Bhavya, part of the reason I'm doing that is because our connection with you is not too stable, so we're not entirely being able to hear what you're saying. But I'm going to go over. All right, we have run out of time. I'd like to thank all of the guests that we have with us here on the panel to take part. Thank you for taking part in this entire conversation. With that, we are going to draw our second conversation to a close, a controversy playing out in Udupi, something we're going to continue to bring you updates on. This was Plain Speak. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good evening.
आपने लाल डायरी के बारे में सुना है ना? कहते हैं इस लाल डायरी में कांग्रेस सरकार के काले कारनामे दर्ज है। लाल डायरी के पन्ने खुले तो अच्छे अच्छे निपट जाएंगे। आज का मंत्र है भ्रष्टाचार, क्विट इंडिया, परिवारवाद, क्विट इंडिया। क्विट इंडिया ही देश को बचाएगा और देश को विकसित भारत बनाएगा।
क्या वो जानकारी प्राप्त नहीं कर सकते कि जो डायरी का जो हुआ खड़ा किया गया जानबूझ करके, तो क्या इससे घबरा गए हैं मोदी जी और इनकी पार्टी? बार बार यहाँ पर आ रहे हैं।
Namaste, Jai Hind and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I am Anand Narasimha.